Welcome into Tennessee Titans today. I am Tom Downey here with some post-game news, rumors, and reaction as Tennessee drops an expected one, but a painful one nonetheless against the New England Patriots. The final score in this one, 36-13. It was actually a ball game in the first half. It was 13-16. Patriots leading, but then New England 20 unanswered in the second half as the injuries in the end for Tennessee were simply too much for the team to overcome as they come up short on the road against a fellow, at least now, 8-4 team. So I know that win, or the loss, is a painful one for Tennessee, but I think we can blame the injuries fairly easily. So if you are still a Titans fan, if you are still a believer in this team once they get healthy, being able to make some noise in the postseason, do me a favor and like today's video. When you only score 13 points, even if you are down your two only good receivers and your best back, you're not going to win football games. The rushing game, as we'll get into, actually was awesome. If I had told you that Tennessee ran for 270 yards, I think a lot of us would have said, oh, they won the football game, right? Well, no, they did not. Despite a nearly 7 yards per carry average, Tennessee had only 85 total passing yards, and 4, especially some early ones, back-breaking giveaways and turnovers helped the Patriots win this one. They scored 36 points in the game. The Patriots offense didn't run the ball nearly as well as I thought they were going to. Only 105 yards on the ground. Fairly even distribution between Ramondre Stevenson and Damian Harris, a kind of game-ending touchdown runner. Maybe bonus-ending touchdown, I should call it, from Harris, kind of capped that one off. Mac Jones played very well despite taking 2 sacks. He himself, as we'll get into, threw for over 300 yards as Tennessee just did not have the horses to run with New England, given how decimated they are with their own injuries. So with the injuries, of course, in mind here, if you want to grade Tennessee on a curve against the Patriots, I have no problem. If they were a healthy team, getting blown out by 20-plus would be a pretty big red flag for me, but they were banged up, so I'm feeling a little bit more friendly for Tennessee. But this is a show for you guys. So this is the pinned comment on today's video. Grade the Titans' loss against the Patriots. A, B, C, D, or F. If the ad break comes here on YouTube, head down to that pinned comment and grade them for me. I'm inclined more to give Tennessee like a C or a D. I can't flunk them because they were so decimated by injuries, that they were not really, barring a truly incredible performance, probably by their quarterback, they weren't going to be able to win that game. And they were in the mix in the first half. Now, I know that is only moral victories, and maybe that's not what you guys want, given the way they've played overall this year, and that's totally fair. Good news is, hey, at least the Colts also lost the game, so Tennessee should still be able to secure that AFC South with the way the schedule sets up moving forward. Plus, the bye is coming at a fantastic time. Unfortunately, more injury news for Tennessee. It's not great. Linebacker Monty Rice, in a game in which the Titans were already without both Rashaan Evans and David Long, Rice also went down with what is being termed an ankle injury. Rice was ruled out of that game very quickly. They said, nope, he's out, he's done, he's not coming back. That's a very disconcerting sign for Tennessee. The youngster out of Georgia had 5 tackles fairly quickly before that injury. I thought he was playing pretty well, was around the football. Unfortunately, I now wonder just how long he's going to be out for the Titans. And the hits keep on coming because I wonder if Tennessee's cursed somehow. Jackrabbit Jenkins also left the game with an injury late in the fourth quarter. The exact details are still not yet known on Jenkins. He was seen limping after the game, needing help, kind of the old arm around the shoulder move, to walk down the hallway, which it's not a good sign there. Appear to be in some pain. Ankle or foot injury. It's not what you want to see when the team is already without Caleb Farley. They need Jenkins out there. I didn't think he had his best game for Tennessee, as the Patriots had a lot of success being able to air it out with 310 yards and some missed tackles, by the way, on Kendrick Bourne being a problem as well. Hopefully, though, knock on wood, those two guys get healthier sooner than later. If you guys want more Titans wins in the future, I'm not saying that I can prove the causation, but there's some correlation at least here. If you want more Titans videos, subscribe. I do think Tennessee will get back on track in the near future, and we will keep you guys updated with what's going on here at Tennessee Titans Today. I'll talk about the quarterback now, Ryan Tannehill. Look, there's a lot to unpack here. The offensive line was in the end. Not elite, at least pass protection-wise. They were great on the ground, I thought. Tannehill finishes the game 11 of 21, 93 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 INT. And I know that he was without Julio Jones and A.J. Brown and Derrick Henry. And frankly, beyond those 3 guys, there aren't a lot of real playmakers on this Titans in terms of the receiving game. So I think it is fair to say it wasn't all his fault, but he did not play well either. That was a very bad, that was a playoff Tannehill performance, which is not something Tennessee needs right now. So I do want you guys to be honest here. Do you trust Ryan Tannehill to take this team where we all want it to go? This is where you guys want it to go, to the Super Bowl. Do you trust him? Get those votes in, and be honest if you want. It's a safe space to make those comments. Y for yes, N for no. Tannehill unquestionably was in a tough spot today. I think the expectations for Tannehill were fairly low when your number one receivers were Nick Westbrook-Ikhine and Cody Hollister and Dez Fitzpatrick, who didn't make your roster to begin the year. That's brutal for any quarterback. There's not much to work with there. I also didn't care much for the play calling, especially that one drive that they got inside the red zone, got to like the 2-yard line, and they ran 2 boot plays for Tannehill with, I didn't like that. I think that was very good. But it's not just on the supporting cast of the play calling. You needed more out of Ryan Tannehill. You needed your highly paid quarterback to step up and play well. He did not. And even though the Titans have won some games without Derrick Henry, we can go back and look at the game logs for Tannehill. The past couple games, it has not been very good. 4 INTs against the Texans. He didn't play that well against the Saints, although he was better than what he's been recently. Wasn't great against the Rams in those wins. Tannehill has not been the guy, at least not as of late. I think he can still bounce back, but it's a bit of a red flag as far as I'm concerned. I mentioned Dez Fitzpatrick. He had a catch. The rookie out of Louisville got called up to the game day roster because they're so decimated by injuries at receiver. 1 catch. It was a nice one for 14 yards, and maybe that was one of your positive points for the offense. The real positive point I thought, by the way, was the ground game. We'll start with Dontrell Hilliard and then go to Hilliard as well. Foreman had 19 carries, 109 yards. That is awesome production. A long of 30, by the way. Again, if I had told you Foreman was going to go for 109 and Hilliard was going to go for 131 with a 68-yard touchdown run, I think we all would have thought, wow, Tennessee beat the Patriots with all those injuries? Ended up not being the case. And a big reason why is Tennessee, yes, they ran the football well. 3 fumbles that they lost. They actually fumbled 5 times in total. They recovered 2 other of them. You're not going to win football games doing that. You throw in the INT as well. 4 turnovers, they were doomed. So, yes, they ran it well on the ground from a yardage and average perspective. They would gladly cut that average down by a full yard from 6.9, which is nice, to 5.9 if they didn't fumble as often as they did. Defensively, Mac Jones lit them up. Now, he missed some throws, but 23 of 32, 310, 2 touchdowns. He had Jacoby Myers go for 98. And not only that, the tight ends and the backs got heavily involved too. They were over 100 yards combined from that perspective. It's not exactly what you're searching for if you're Tennessee. I will try to end here on a more, or at least almost end on a positive. There's 2 more notes I want to get to here. Kevin Byard did get beat on, I believe it was him, on the touchdown against one of them by Kendrick Bourne. He also finished today with 12 tackles, a sack, a TFL, and 2 quarterback hits. He was very productive in this game. He is still one of, I believe, the premier safeties in the NFL. I think he was pressed into an unideal situation for his own skill set. Can't blame him for the loss, though. Apparently, you can make an argument that Byard was the team's MVP in this game. So who do you think it was? If you have to assign somebody the MVP in today's loss, and I'm going to challenge you guys to actually do it, let me know. Pick an MVP for the Titans this week. One more final note. I did know that Tommy Hudson was injured in that game fairly early with what was sort of, I believe it was an ankle injury. I don't think he came back out there. He's more of a special teamer anyway, so not the end of the world. But I did want to mention the Hudson injury as well because Tennessee's getting everybody hurt in the end somehow. We will keep you guys updated here at Tennessee Titans Today with all the latest news and rumors and recaps and a whole lot more around your favorite team. And all you have to do to get those updates is subscribe right now for free.